How it feels to lose your first ever character. Hi everyone, All Things D&D is back with another story. We all grow attached to the characters we play. Having lost a few over the years, I can really sympathize with this story. Tell us about the time you lost your favorite character after listening to this. I've played on and off in campaigns that fizzle out due to work pressure and/or lack of interest over the years, and finally ended up in a group who solidly play every week. It turns out, when you get older, finding a group with a schedule that lines up with yours is the hardest part of actually playing. The DM is amazing and has his own huge homebrew world he's been developing and DMing in for the best part of a decade. He's expanding into an area he hasn't completely written, allowing the group to help flesh out the cultures and customs he's loosely established through roleplay and chat. It's been amazing. I decided to go for a complete change of pace for my character and created a Goliath barbarian. Between sessions, I started fleshing out some details of his tribe, the religion and practices of the mountain people, and backstory for my massive smashy himbo, Dulrig Oathbreaker. I even created some local legends and beliefs I was looking forward to exploring. The party had just hit level 8 the previous week after an intense combat session that gave us a lead on the big bad. So the party's traveling through the tundra, trying to find where we need to go. I try a nature check to see if there's anything useful I recognize in the area that would help the party, and roll a nat 20, revealing worn tracks in the snow behind a berry bush filled with 2 days' worth of food. Fortune smiled upon us. We follow the tracks and encounter a gaggle of ogres, and a couple of gung-ho party members opt to ambush them, kicking off combat. Dulrig and Scathach, the fellow barbarian hobgoblin of the party, launch into frenzied rage, and together obliterate one ogre in one turn. A solid start. After knocking another prone and caving its head in with my warhammer, I've taken a couple of nasty hits and crits, and tried pulling back to the group, having taken a substantial beating, despite being a big tanky slab of ham. Our druid casts Spike Growth, trapping the ogres in place and dealing solid damage. Unfortunately, one is incredibly powerful, and packing a bear trap on a chain, with a weird Baraka-style arm blade and 3 legendary abilities, a real tough bastard. She manages to snare Dulrig, and with a very successful roll, pulls him straight to her position, flanked by 2 other ogres. Unable to move for the spike growth, they proceed to beat the absolute tar out of Dulrig and KO him. I hit a 19 on my first death saving throw. Turn rolls around, and the boss has no real option but to attack Dulrig. DM rolls a miss. Dulrig may just survive this, I thought. And if to mock my hopelessness, the DM followed the miss with 2 nat 20s. The critical damage rolls are coming to 3d8 each. The ogress lifts Dulrig's limp, unconscious body with the bear trap. Sis' knees leave large bloody furrows in the snow as he's dragged helplessly to the ogress. She stares my party down, and with a bellowing roar, unsheathes the arm blade and decapitates Dulrig in one swift blow. The party goes silent. My jaw drops open as the DM describes what had just transpired. Scathach, whose backstory has her wife executed in front of her the same way, goes into a state of shock. She drops out of rage. Staggering forward, she limply swings her battle axe. Her heart isn't in it, as her mind reels from the horrific images of her past flashing through her mind. She drops to her knees and is promptly KO'd by another ogre. It's all falling apart. The rest of the party are all fairly squishy, and the odds are not at all in their favor. It's late, and the DM asks if we want to pause and come back next week. No, we finish this. The druid and the ranger snap out of it, and with some incredible combinations of skills and talents, they manage to somehow defeat every last ogre and make the big one ogress suffer for it. In brutal, unmerciful fashion, they cut her down while cursing her. They manage to avenge Dulrig. Nobody asks about loot or XP. There's simply a breath, a rest, a loss. Honestly, it was an incredible impact, and I do not fault the DM for killing Dulrig after the double nat 20s on a flanked unconscious body. My man was screwed, and these ogres were characteristically brutal. The DM opens up about not having outright killed a PC ever before. I'm left to accept the untimely end to Dulrig's potential. Never reunited with his clan, never getting the opportunity to partake in a particular nigh impossible trial that his people held in high regard, or communicating again with the joint gods of sky and land his people worshipped. Never got to bring the party to his homelands, hearing the throat singing echoing through the valleys, as if the gods were communicating from the rocks themselves. While being 7 feet of pure muscle and as witty as a brick half the time, he always looked out for his far smaller, far squishier party members. But no more. The party logs off one by one. I realized one thing I hadn't discussed with the DM was the funeral traditions of the clan. but I'm going to have to decide now. A funeral pyre, releasing the soul to the Sky Mother, and the ashes scattered for the Earth Father. Gunnar, a party member native to these islands, and longest companion of Dulrig, should hopefully know this, and the party will see to it that he's given a traditional farewell next week. Until then, I have a hole where a character I was finally getting to flesh out and fully enjoy once was. But with an amazing party and a brilliant DM, I look forward to continuing. The DM offered me the chance to come back next week, but I feel that loss needs to be tangible. Being a man down, losing a friend, an ally needs to be felt, processed, realized. It needs to mean something. I'm rolling up another character to introduce in a couple of sessions' time, when the opportunity naturally presents itself, rather than ham-fisting in a new companion immediately. Rest easy, Dulrig. You did good. As sad as it is to lose a character heroically, it's even harder to lose a character to stupidity. Retton314 commented, "My first character was a human cleric. Not even a variant human cleric, just a normal +1 in every stat human life domain cleric. He was killed when the party necromancer wizard, who had been possessed by a cursed amulet he took off of a cultist and thought was a good idea to put on, killed the local king, who I had previously worked for, and after KOing him for vengeance, a Barlgura showed up and pub stomped me into the dirt. Another demon appeared and turned me into a zombie, at which point my silvered mace burned my body to ashes. There are worse ways to die. I went out like a punk. To die by one's own sword, or in this case, mace. That's tough. Losing a character you love can be hard. The untapped potential, the adventures, the stories that would have been told. Gone in an instant. Do you think it's hard on a DM killing a character for the first time? I know some DMs just love killing PCs, but I'm talking about good DMs that relish the thought of losing someone critical to the story they're building. I also really respect this player for waiting a few sessions to come back. I'm sure his party truly felt him missing. Please let us know what you think and comment below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, All Things D&D. Our next video will be posted in 3 days, so stay tuned for more amazing Dungeons & Dragons content.